And this is the meeting of the Manhasset Bay Protection Committee as of April 28th, 2022. And I suggest we'll go around and do introductions. And then I wanted to welcome the new members, our new member representatives. So I am Sarah Deonorine, Executive Director, and I'm going to throw it to Kevin.
Hi, this is Kevin Braun, Town of North Hempstead, Environmental Specialist.
Mike Ertel, Representative, Village of Sands Point.
Dan Fucci, Nassau County Department of Public Works.
Steve Kleiss, I'm a resident and a member of a few committees, but I'm a guest on this committee.
Hi, this is Carrie Ye, representative from Kensington, Great Neck.
Claire Dorfman, trustee, Village of Flower Hill.
Karen, do you want to go?
Sure. Hi, Karen Siegel, trustee and representative of the Village of Thomaston, Great Neck.
Tom Lang from Plandome Manor.
You're muted, Annie.
Hi, Annie Mendelson, trustee, Village of Great Neck.
Maria, you want to go?
Oh, hi, Maria Branco. I'm a trustee of the Village of Baxter Estates, and I'm an alternate today. So I was on your list of new.
Samantha Wilder, intern.
Christina, do you want to go?
I'm Christina Labasco. I'm the trustee from Plandome Heights.
Mary, do you want to go? I think you might be the last one.
Sure. Mary Arnold, Long Island Sound Study, New York State DEC.
And John is our special guest from Nelson Pope and Voorhees. Do you want to say a quick hello?
Hello, everyone. We're just joining tonight briefly to introduce ourselves. We'll be working on the water quality improvement plan for the Bay. And we're just kicking it off. It's a pretty intensive study, and we look forward to working with the committee. It's good to see a lot of the members on in the meeting tonight. We're really just providing technical support. The plan, the success of the plan is going to hinge upon the participation of the committee. So we're looking forward to working with each and every one of you. One of the first things we're going to be doing, the plan's got, I think, 18 tasks. And it goes in progression. The request for proposals was set up by the Department of State, who was overseeing and providing grant money for it. And it's very well organized to progress through the process from the very beginning, starting with establishing goals and an overall vision statement and objectives, and then putting the pieces together bit by bit. I believe there were 3 public meetings. One of the early steps is a kickoff meeting that will occur to work on a public participation plan and the goals and the vision statement for the harbor. So I'll be working a lot with Sarah to set things up, but every work product that we prepare will be, you'll get a chance to review and provide input on, and that will be very important to making sure it reflects the knowledge that you all have of the Bay, which far exceeds what I know about the Bay.
Yeah,
I
John,
have personally worked on water quality plans. I was the primary consultant for the town of Oyster Bay for many years and did work in Oyster Bay Cold Spring Harbor Complex. And I also was involved in the preparation of the harbor management plan and water quality improvement plan for Hempstead Harbor, right next door. So that I really didn't have a formal presentation. We'll have that at the kickoff meeting, which will not be that far away, probably a month or so. And again, at that kickoff meeting, we'll be working on the goal and vision statement and looking at the public participation plan to make sure we get as much input from as possible from everyone.
So, yeah, so John actually just sent me a first draft of that, which I haven't looked at yet. But I'll be sending it around to the full committee. I don't know when, but when you get that, please give any comments, give it a look over and get back to us. So John, you had also talked about forming a subcommittee that involves such things as a community representative and a business representative. I don't know that we've ever done that kind of thing before.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we need to do that. It wasn't really called for in the.
Hang on, guys. Hang on, John. This is Kevin with the town of North Hempstead. We can discuss the further details of the plan outside the committee. We have a subcommittee that's going to bring all the necessary items to the committee. So I don't think we had to go through the nuances of the actual contract or the project at this point. It's more of just an introduction of showing you to the committee that we're working forward in towards of working with the DOS to get the certain items listed to get done.
Okay, did anybody have any questions for John? He's from Nelson Pope and Voorhees again. He's our subcontractor. Maria, you look like you had a question.
Yeah, actually, I'm new to this, folks. I'm not new to water quality, but I'm new to the civilian side of things. And I just got a little confused. Was that the DEC that chimed in and said we weren't going to talk about subcommittee? Was that?
Well,
No, Maria.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, this is Kevin with the town of North Hempstead.
Town of North
No,
Hempstead.
that wasn't
Hello.
the
Okay.
DEC.
Okay.
I'm basically the project manager with Sarah, and we work directly with the consultants to get the work product that the DOS requires us to do to then present to the committee in certain fashion.
Okay. Now I understand. But I did have a question of John. You did say in your introduction that you were hoping to get a lot of participation from the community, and we're here. And what are you looking to get from us, the committee?
It will be input on every single piece of the plan. So as Sarah mentioned, I sent her like a preliminary outline of the goals and vision statement. And it's not, obviously, I don't know, right now, I don't know enough about the Bay to say these are the goals and this is the vision statement. I worked from the 1999 plan that was completed by the committee and kind of shuffled that around and reorganized it and came up with suggested goals based on general knowledge of what these plans call for in these types of water bodies. So it would be up to you to go through the list and say, yeah, these are good. That's not really important. Oh, you forgot this one. And then there's a start of a vision statement. And that's an umbrella over all the goals. It's a single paragraph, maybe 3-4 sentences that describes what the community's vision is for the overall Bay. And it takes into account what you want to accomplish and integrates all the goals into a single statement.
So these goals are in addition to meeting the standard water quality requirements as delineated by the Department of Environmental Conservation?
That is, go ahead, Kevin, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Maria, you just, at this point in the process, I don't think you understand what the project is. We're not trying to meet the goals of the Department of Environmental Conservation. The project is to look at all the inputs and form a feasibility study to determine what is going to improve the harbor best. From that, we will come with a list of projects that we think we should move forward. So basically, at this point, it's a feasibility study. John and Nelson Pope and Voorhees is going to come up with a bunch of update a bunch of items that we had previously. He's going to bring the report to the committee. We're gonna get it approved, and then we're gonna go for funding down the line to look for specific projects that we look to move forward to improve the water quality of the harbor. It has nothing to do with immediate goals of the DEC in terms of water quality improvement, in terms of swimming, nitrogen, bacteria. That is a long-range goal, but that's not what we're looking to do immediately in terms of water quality improvement of the harbor.
Okay, thank
And
you. I
please-
now understand. We're not,
Yeah, please,
we are
please,
doing
John,
small
correct me if I'm wrong.
steps. We're doing small steps to get,
No, that's exactly right, Kevin.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Since Sarah has asked me to move this agenda along, is there, John, is there anything additional you think you could add? It's really just an introduction at this point.
Okay, and I appreciate the opportunity to meet the committee, and I have sent to Sarah the initial outline. It's a preliminary outline of the goals and vision statement, and that will be our first task as a committee to work through that. And we'll also, one of the first steps is to come up with the community participation program. So you'll be seeing that relatively early on also.
Thank you so much for coming, John, to say hello.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I look forward to working on the project with you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
John.
Take care. Everyone have a nice night.
Yep. Have a great one.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, I wanted,
Okay, Sarah, if I may move the agenda forward in the issue of time. Item number 3 on the agenda is to discuss the water quality improvement plan subcommittee. You
But
wanna
he
go
was-
at it?
oh, he was saying that he wasn't sure that we needed that. So I'll get further clarification from him. And then we can discuss in June.
Yeah, Sarah, the guiding document on this is going to be the contract we have with the state, and then the contract we then have with Nelson Pope. I don't remember a community participation aspect of it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. So we can discuss that further as we come together on the subcommittee.
Okay. I also wanted to say a quick welcome. We've got 3 new representatives. Oh, plus Maria as the alternate. So it's kind of a baptism by fire, getting thrown right into our big project right at the onsets. But welcome. They already introduced themselves, and I sent out an email. Do you guys want to say anything or ask any questions before we get any further in?
Hi, I'm Carrie Ye. I've been a resident in Great Neck for over a decade. And in Kensington, I've been a resident in Kensington for almost 3 years. I love this neighborhood, and I feel honored to be part of this committee to talk about the things that are very important, actually essential to our daily life. And so I have a lot of things to learn, and terminologies and the way of working. So, you know, I look forward to working with every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and taking this on.
Thank you.
I'm Karen.
Yeah, hi. I came to Great Neck in 1959 as a teenager. and from Brooklyn. And I literally kissed the ground, the grass in front of my parents' home in Great Neck Estates. And I loved going to a school where there were 20, 22 kids in a class instead of 52 on triple session. I loved the whole thing, the parks, everything. I've been in Thomaston since Christmas of 1980, moved in a blizzard. I didn't know this committee existed, but I have sailed throughout Long Island Sound, had boats in Manhasset Bay, in and out Academy. I didn't know this committee existed until I was appointed as a trustee, and the opportunity came, and I'm like, whoa, that's me. But I'm thrilled that you've been around for, I understand, almost 20 years, Sam?
Over 20, yeah.
Over 20 years. So it's great to be able to do something practical and of direct impulse, impact right here. And I'm thrilled to be part of this committee. So thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you for joining and for taking us on again, volunteer. All right. Does anybody else want to comment? Or
I'll make a quick, I'm Christina Labasco. I'm in Plandome Heights. I've been here almost 4 years after living in Manhattan for 20 years. I was recently elected as a trustee in the village, and I love being here, and I'm looking forward to getting involved in the village as well as this committee. And I have a 4.5-year-old daughter, and I look forward to bringing her to some of the events as well. So nice to meet you all, and I have a lot to learn, as you said, Carrie, but I'm excited to participate. So thank you for the opportunity.
okay, so moving along then, Kevin, we're on to the draft minutes.
Yes, hi. Has everybody had a chance to review the draft minutes from March? If not, we'll give you a couple minutes for those who are new. If you weren't there, you can abstain, but we do have to vote on meeting minutes every time, the previous meeting minutes, every time we come to the next meeting. So I'll give you a couple minutes to review if you haven't already, and then I'll ask for any comments or discussions in, let's say, 2 minutes. These minutes should have been distributed earlier. If there's any questions or comments on the meeting minutes, we can clarify further.
There's a lot of minutes. 5 pages.
Mike Ertel, Village of Sands Point, motion to adopt the minutes.
Do we have a second, Jennifer?
Second, Plandome Manor.
Tom Lang is a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion carries. The minutes are approved.
Thank you. I was wondering if I could throw in discussion about the contract we have with DeVerca and Bartolucci and having them do our water quality report at the end of the summer. So we have funding in a grant from DEC. We would be able to have it reimbursed through that. And they gave a cost estimate of $7,500 to $10,000, which apparently is pretty standard according to the conversation I had with the other protection committees yesterday. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold and coughing a lot.
Sarah, this is Kevin again. To try to assist you along this process, which you called, I'll describe a little bit to the committee what we're looking to do here, and you'll be able to correct me if I go astray. So basically, we're looking to hire the consulting firm DeVarchi and Bartolucci to take our water quality data that we have collected in the past and provide a report for us to do. We have money that was allotted to us. I think it was through Monsanto or some
Senator.
I'm sorry?
Senator Marcelino, and it would be for this upcoming summer because we haven't approved QAP, so. we'd be able to-
Right. So we had to jump through a bunch of hoops to try to get this money, but we are eligible for money through Marcelino to then go ahead and pay for this grant, pay for the DeVarchi and Bartolucci to do the water quality report, and then we will get reimbursed after the report is completed and we submitted grants. So the question here, I believe Sarah's trying to answer, she's coughing away over there, is that I believe she's looking for approval from the committee to go ahead and have DeVarchi and Bartolucci go ahead and produce the report, knowing that we will get reimbursed from the committee for it from Marcelino money. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
If there's any questions, does anybody have any questions on this? We can. I know there's a lot of new people, and I'll be patient in trying to provide any detail that you need on it.
Thank you for being patient. So we get this grant and then we will spend money first and then we'll get reimbursed. That's a promise that they will reimburse us, right? For
Yeah.
the quality,
Yes.
water quality test. How does it work? The water quality, I mean, along different villages, do we have to collect samples of all the villages?
We already have a water quality monitoring program that's currently done by the Bay Constables and our own Samantha Wilder.
Okay.
And we just got approved a quality assurance plan. So that means DEC is on the hook to, since we have the grant plus it's called a QAP, DEC will reimburse us for any costs we incur for this sampling this year, including costs we've already incurred.
That's
So
great. We have a grant. With the test, with the result of the test, are we going to share, who are you going to share the test with, and what do we do with the test once the result come out?
We would share it publicly. Would have to get DEC approval of the report first, and then it would go out publicly, and it helps in identifying locations that need more attention. Our issue in the Bay is, our top issue anyway, is bacteria. And so it would help identify what the trends are, meaning is it getting better? Are we getting closer to meeting the standards we have to meet? And then also, again, it would help feed into the water quality improvement plan of where we should target projects.
Sounds good. At least we can watch it closely on a periodical basis so we can watch the trend to see where we are. That's a great idea.
May I ask, would the new contractor change the current plan? Would they, for instance, check the outfalls of the various creeks?
No, we've already gotten approval for what we're gonna do this summer, and it's 7 stations once a week collecting bacteria data or bacteria samples, as well as dissolved oxygen, temperature, pH, and salinity.
And this is throughout the bay, not at any of the outfalls?
Correct.
Okay. Would there be an opportunity to modify the plan in the future?
An outfall study would be something separate.
Okay, would be in addition to.
Mhm.
Yeah, Sarah, this is Kevin with the Town of North Hempstead. Maybe I can provide a little bit more clarity. The sampling, what we're discussing now in terms of the contract is data that is already gathered. And we're looking for DeVerk and Bartolucci to put it in a report that we can then look at trends and see basically the progression of the water quality of the bay. In terms of outfalls, I don't want to say this without Sarah's input, but I believe that the outfalls themselves aren't tested, but areas along Manhasset Bay where outfalls are located are tested. So there are certain, I think there's 7 locations, as Sarah said, 7 locations along the harbor. I believe those particular areas were chosen in the past based upon its location to outfalls. And right now they provide us with a continuance of sampling points. We can expand it, but for the purpose of this contract with DeVerk and Bartolucci, it's just to organize the data we already collected.
Okay, very good. Is there a way to find out where exactly those 7 sampling points are?
Yes, it's on our website.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Mhm.
And if Sarah needs to, she can re-provide that to the committee if there's interest there, or if you can't find it on the website.
Mhm.
Perhaps for me, it would be helpful. I'm getting that we have several layers of not just government, but standards as well as this whole process, right? Kevin's with the town of North Hempstead. Is our committee some official part of the town of North Hempstead functions? And then we have New York State, and then we have the DEC, right?
Yeah, so I can send you background information on that, but the committee is equal partnership among the 15 municipalities. So it includes the town of North Hempstead, Nassau County, and 13 villages in the watershed. And so we have a grant from Department of State to do a water quality improvement plan. And right now we're discussing a grant we have from Department of Environmental Conservation for our already, we already have an established water quality monitoring plan, but this is specifically, it's gonna pay for this summer, the work done this summer.
So is this a motion to approve the grant from the approve acceptance of the grant from the DEC, Sarah?
No, I need a motion to amend the DeVerk and Bartolucci contract to include up to $10,000 for 2022 water quality monitoring report. Yeah.
And this is going to be covered by the grant that
Yes.
the DEC has awarded. So I'll be happy to make a motion to accept.
Question, who then outlays these monies to begin with? Does
The
the committee,
committee.
the committee has this much money on hand?
Yes.
Okay.
I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a second by Mike and an initial motion by Maria. May I ask all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. We amend the contract with DeVerk and Bartolucci to include the reporting.
Thank you. Okay, next
Sarah,
is
you
the,
can go ahead and continue on the next item, item 5.
okay, so the next item is the boat tour. So pre-COVID, the committee annually hosted a boat tour of Manhasset Bay for elected officials. Also at the last meeting, it was feeling that COVID has calmed down enough that we'd be comfortable starting to host it again. So I went on fact-finding mission. So the best times to go on a boat tour are at high tide so we can get into more of the bay. And so the dates that worked for that were Tuesday evening, June 21st. So that's the date I'm proposing for the boat tour, and then a rain date of June 22nd, which is the next day. June 8th and 9th also work, but we have a committee meeting scheduled for June 9th, so I didn't want to mess with that. So that was the first order of business, is choosing the date. Does anybody have any thoughts on that, or does that sound good?
Mike Ertel, Sands Point, June 21st works for me.
My village, I think, has an election that day.
Oh, okay.
And we also meet on the first and third Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
But I mean, if it needs to be on the 21st, I understand.
Okay.
I don't think, this is Kevin from the town. I don't think there's any hard and fast date, Annie. We'd like to have people from your village involved. And I think just for all the newbies here, this is a great way to see the harbor from the water side and to see some of our projects. Sarah, is there any other date that we can do something with, or can we go on the 22nd, or what's the thinking here?
We could go on the 22nd. But admittedly, I only looked at tides. I didn't look at everybody's village schedule. So I don't know. We could go on.
We're obviously not going to be able to accommodate everyone. But if it's a possibility that the 22nd works better for Great Neck, maybe that works. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I don't know what date the 22nd is.
That would be a
Wednesday.
It'd be a what?
Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
Okay, can we do rain day, the 22nd with a rain date of the 23rd? Is that possible?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got cut off.
Yes, that works.
And we will work forward with everybody in the village to try to get your elected officials and you guys out. This is just setting the date preliminarily to try to move forward.
Yes.
Approximately what time does the tour start?
The boat leaves at 6:30 p.m. and then we get back at 8:30 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, so then the next question is,
All the elected officials are invited from all the villages and the town? How big is this vessel?
it's usually, I don't know, I can't remember if we invite all the trustees. I think we might just invite the mayors and then like the most involved trustees. I have to go back and look, but that's the next question. So in the past, we used the Angler 4, I think it was, out of Inspiration Wharf. And it can hold up to 60 people, but we were gonna limit how many people could be on the boat because of because there's COVID. Sorry, I was distracted. But the Captain Kim, they've sold that boat, and so they have a new bigger boat, and so the price has almost tripled. It can hold up to 60 people. He says there's a top deck. It's meant more as a party boat. He does have a smaller vessel, but it's not as nice and accommodating. So the price of the new boat for the 2-hour trip would be $2,000 plus the gratuity on top of it. And then I was also pricing out Harbor Deli. That's where we've had it catered before. But last time we ran out of food, so I was going a little bit, adding in a little bit more money. And so for that trip in 2019, for Harbor Deli, we spent just about $400, not including somebody donated wine. And I probably got some chips. No, I think that was all that we got. But we probably also want to add things that are individually packaged, like chips. So we're looking at doubling the cost of food again. So it would be around $800. So we're looking at a trip that's somewhere in the $3,000 range, whereas in the past, the most we spent was when we did the our 20th anniversary in 2018, and that was $2,200.
Sarah, this is Kevin again. Let's step back a little bit. This is not the 28th anniversary tour. Do you have numbers, or can you provide the numbers to the committee eventually, not necessarily now, how many people we've had in the past? I think that would help us determine the vessel we need to take. I don't know if we need a 60 person party boat, although I would like to bring my fishing rod. That being said, I don't know if it warrants that at this point.
We've had about between 35 and 40 people in the past. There's another boat. So he has another boat that it can accommodate 25 people. It has a table in the cabin to set up food, but there's not much sitting. And there's also another boat there's a party boat run by Long Island Boat Rentals, but it holds about the same number, 25 people.
But didn't you say the Angler organization has a 40-person boat?
No, at least not anymore. So they have either one that will hold 25 people or the one that will hold up to 60 people.
Considering that 25 is the max, I mean, then we'd be maxing it out if we were lucky. It seems that the 60 is unfortunately the only choice that we have.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just say in the past, we have in fact invited everybody. I think the only thing we said was no spouses. But you just, there's a lot of conflicts like we just heard. So typically we'd get about 30 people. I mean, we used to do this on Matt's boat and that really didn't hold that many people either.
If we have, how many will be for the officials and how many will be from us, the representatives? Maybe for now, we can say only representatives for now. And then if we have the head counts towards the end, if we have the extra space, we can say, hey, we can open the space for the spouses. I don't know. I'm just
No spouses at all, because the trustees come before the spouses.
Yeah, sure.
The mayors and trustees.
Of course. Yeah, sounds good.
And
Great Neck has been having Harbor Harvest down at Stepping Stone for the past couple of summers. Very nice boat, and I have the card here from Bob Kunkel, the president out east. I can give a call. I know they rent it out for party boats as well as bringing in all the stuff for the farmers mart. So I can look into that if they do 2 boat tours, if that's worth it.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like it's good to find alternatives. I wish that I knew of any other alternative. So, Dr. Karen, I think that's a good idea to just reach out. Thank you.
So a question, this is scheduled for June.
If we're gonna plan for June.
Go ahead.
Yes, exactly.
So if this is scheduled for June and we have one meeting between then and now, do we want to have some sort of motion to approve a budget?
Mike, that
might
was
be
where I was heading next.
higher, with the understanding that we're going to try to keep it lower, but to assume the worst case scenario that we get the 60-person vote, because we know that there's always like an issue when we under budget it, then we got to go and get another quorum just to add like $300 or something like that. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, no, that's exactly where I was gonna snip this in the tail. I believe Sarah was looking for a motion to have a do not exceed budget. We'll let her as the director work on the details of it, but I would say, given her numbers, if we approve a budget, and once again, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, of a budget of do not exceed budget of $3,500, would that be acceptable?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Mike Hertel, Village of Sands Point, motion to approve a budget of not to exceed $3,500 for the boat tour sometime this summer with details to be ironed out by Sarah.
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Dr. Karen, and do we have a motion to accept? Do we have a motion to accept the motion? I'm sorry.
Vote.
A
Yeah.
vote. Thank you.
We just
Sorry,
need a
missed my
vote.
word.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any discussion? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, just like Mike called it, I'm coming back to ask for more funding for the beach cleanups. So we had one that was very successful. We had about, in the rain, 90 volunteers came out. So I'm going to need to purchase more gloves and trash bags and not very many snacks, but a couple. Mostly the cost is going to be in purchasing gloves. So that's why I was asking for doubling the amount, and then I'll just buy a ton of gloves. Maybe that'll get us through the fall.
I agree, $300 is probably more adequate these days.
Yeah, and the price for everything is going up.
Yeah.
Sarah, this is Kevin. For a $300 expenditure, you don't need to bring it before the board. That's just a simple claim form and go ahead. That's a minor expenditure.
Oh, I thought it was over 75 I had to bring to the committee.
Okay, if you want to make, we should amend that at some point, but if that's the point, can I have a motion to increase the spending limit for the beach cleanup to $300?
Yes,
Motion was made by Maria.
yes.
I'll
Do we have
second.
a second?
Tom Lang.
Tom Lang with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the next item, educational banner ideas. Can we table that till the June meeting? 'Cause I haven't put anything together yet.
May I
Do I have
just
a
make,
motion to table
may I
it?
just make a suggestion while you're putting together ideas? I have been monitoring for the do not feed the wildlife signs. And some of them are missing. And all of them, I keep finding at the bottom of the pole, the ones that exist. And therefore they are not noticeable at all. So as you're considering educational banner ideas, consider also how they will be installed and whether they would be effective on the long term.
So the banners would be for when we have a tabling event or beach cleanup. It would just be something that pops up about the committee and what people can do. So it wouldn't be a permanent thing, but do not feed the birds is something else we'll have to talk about. Probably soon.
Okay. I just, the quality of the signs that are not lasting.
Okay. All right, so then the next thing is Harbor Fest is on June 5th, and I need volunteers because it is all day. And I mean, I'll be there all day, but it would be helpful if people would sign up for that. So that's the link I just put in the chat is, and it's also on the agenda, is to sign up for a time slot or two. It is held at Town Dock. It hasn't been happening the last 2 years because of COVID, but it's back. It's outdoors. We have a tent and chairs and a table, and some stuff for the kids to do. So even just have somebody to talk to would be nice.
I'll check my schedule. I may have that day open and I will sign up if I do.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Sarah, this is Kevin from the town. I do anticipate being there. However, I'm going to be manning a lot of the Hempstead Harbor Protection Committee booth since Eric isn't going to be there, but you'll have somebody to talk to.
Yes, we'll be side by side. So it's true. Thank you.
Yeah, and ditto, I'll be there at the North Shore Audubon booth next to you.
Yeah. So it'll be a friendly crowd to pass the day with. Okay, the next item is, I had brought up, since we host a boat tour for the elected officials, it'd be great to get the general public out. And I had a meeting with Jeff, I can't pronounce his last name, From Fort Washington Library. And also Holly Burns. The library is hosting 4 boat tours for the general public this summer, but they're focusing more on a historical perspective. And they would have the docents on them would be members of their nautical advisory committee for the library. So there wasn't an opportunity to partner this year, but depending on how it goes, it's possible that they would partner next year. They also did agree to take educational materials on board if we had them. So I definitely want to do that. But my thought is to see how they do this summer and then possibly partner in summer of 2023. Would anybody have an issue with putting that off for a year?
No.
All right, the next discussion item is what is our biggest issue in in 2 weeks, all the protection committees on Long Island will be meeting via Zoom. It's public, so spread the word and have all your friends come. But we're going to do a round robin type of thing where each director is going to post on what the committee's biggest issue is, and I was not sure. I wanted to get feedback before before I brought it up. So some thoughts were getting public buy-in, people feeding the geese is an issue, and also getting out our name recognition. Does any one of those seem like a top priority, or is there something else that seems like it would be our biggest issue?
Sorry, this is Kevin Spintown. I think our biggest issue, I don't know where the other items came from, but I think our biggest issue has been and always will be the water quality of the harbor. And I would think that maybe in looking at the joint protection committee, we would try to highlight the fact that we're re-energizing, reviewing, redoing the water quality improvement plan. I'm not aware of any other committees that are going down this path again. And I think that maybe that might be something to highlight in terms of what we're looking to do, in terms of looking back at the harbor, looking back at our priorities and bringing them into the future and determining what now is the most significant items we got to look at. So I guess my point is the project plan, the water quality improvement plan is the biggest thing we have going on because it's going to identify the biggest things we have to look at.
This is Mike Ertel, Village of Sands Point. Kevin, I agree with you as always. However, I look at it at a slightly different viewpoint. Yes, of course, it's water quality, but to me, I think that, and not name recognition like Sarah said, but more our message to all the people and all the people in our villages about, Manhasset Bay and what we could do to make it better, and that there are issues with water quality and, don't pollute and just things like that. Maybe just getting those messages across, which kind of, it really, I think, builds upon what you said, Kevin. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but really just getting the word out and getting people to be excited about having a clean and nice Manhasset Bay.
If I might
Mike,
second that as well.
I
I was just wanted to agree with Mike. The water quality is most important, of course, but the sources to it, which often come from the public. So that would be a good thing to concentrate as well, is how people can contribute to improving quality.
This is Kevin with the town. Mike, you know I get nervous every time you're on the same boat as me. You agree with me. But just for clarity, this is something that we're trying to bring forth to the joint committee, or something we're trying to do individually. So if we're trying to individually promote the committee, then yeah, of course. But if it's in context of the joint committee, I don't think, I mean, they all know what we do or what we want to do. If Mike's messages try to get the word out there to everybody else, yeah, hands down. I don't know if the joint committee meeting is the outlet for that. I mean, you know, the Harbor Fest, getting our name out there more, doing more on Facebook, that's gonna bring it, or even actually, as somebody suggested earlier, going maybe out and doing the grand tour, the villages and towns and municipalities again, to get the word out like Sarah did at the beginning. But if we're talking in the context of the Joint Protection Committee, I'll leave it up to the committee, but I don't know if that's appropriate, because they all know what we do, because they do the same thing.
Mike Ertel, I agree with Kevin's assessment. I was looking at it differently. So yeah, so I agree 100% with Kevin. Don't be scared, Kevin.
I'm very scared.
I might be a little scared too. Okay, well, thank you. So I'll craft something to bring up at the Joint Protection Committee meeting, which again is in 2 weeks.
Gotcha.
All right, the other item for discussion was the possibility of joining chambers of commerce. This has been brought up both in Manhasset and Port Washington. It's a way, well, to get at advertising ourselves more and get our name out, but I'm not entirely sure if it's appropriate for a government committee to join a chamber of commerce. So,
Sarah, this is Kevin with the town. No, it's not appropriate at all. In fact, it should be stricken from the agenda. We are not that. We are not commerce. We are a conglomerate of government agencies and representatives. And although we can share some kind of participation events with them, it's never have been and isn't really appropriate this time.
okay.
But if anybody has anything else to say, I'm tired of talking.
I agree with you.
Now I'm really nervous.
All right, the next item was about Samantha. Should that sorry, be an executive session, and perhaps we do it at the end of the meeting? Because it's discussing an employee.
Can you put us in executive session without Sarah being part of it?
Well, without Samantha?
I'm sorry, Samantha, not Sarah. You got too many S's.
Oh, well, yeah, there is also Sarah. We'd have to kick off the people who aren't the representatives. So it would be Samantha and 2 others.
Let's just get through the agenda and then we can wrap it up at the end. How about that?
Okay. All right, I'm moving it down here to the end. Okay. So then it's a bunch of updates. So from me and Kevin actually is coordinating moving the sea-bin from storage, and it will be heading over to Capri Marina shortly, within the next week. Perhaps as soon as tomorrow. So that's exciting news. We'll actually have the sea-bin in the water and operational. That's the floating trash bin that filters water and catches trash and oil and other things like that. You should all have gotten an invitation and the agenda for the Joint Protection Committee meeting, which is 2 weeks from tonight. That meeting starts at 7, so a little earlier than our usual meetings, and it'll be held by Zoom. Again, we need volunteers for Harbor Fest, which is on Sunday, June 5th. The 2022 dues are still coming in, so the committee's funded through annual dues from all the members. And we've gotten a lot of them to date, most of them. We already talked about the water quality improvement plan. I don't have any updates on LineApp.
Sarah, I don't know if Dan is interested. Dan, I get confused between the 9 elements and LineApp. You're the 9 elements guy, right?
That's correct. I'm the 9 element guy, Kevin.
All right. So I
I can gi-
apologize.
Yeah, and then I can give you a brief update if you want on that. If we for the new folks on the meeting, the 9 element plan is essentially a report that's being developed in conjunction with the DEC, SUNY Stony Brook, Nassau County, and various stakeholder groups throughout the county, and quite a few of the people on this committee are on that stakeholder group. Kevin Braun, Sarah, and others. It's a nitrogen reduction strategy plan that's being developed. So I'll give some specific examples. In the report, they discuss ways municipalities can develop programs to reduce nitrogen. One way is through the alternative septic program, where a resident could through grant money that the county provides, put in an alternative septic system, replace their old system with a new alternative system that has approvals, and the resident would receive grant monies to do the installation work. So that's one of the programs that Nassau County's directly involved with. Some of the townships are looking at bio-extraction programs where you use kelp and shellfish and so on to improve the water quality. So we're looking at some of those methodologies. Public education relative to nitrogen reduction is very important, and that's where we're really going to utilize the protection committees to promote public education. So the short of it at this point is a draft final has been developed. Stony Brook did provide that draft final to myself, as well the county, as well as DEC. The DEC does have some comments that they would like SUNY Stony Brook to address. Once those are cut the muster with DEC and the county, then that draft final 9 element plan will be shared with the stakeholders for a brief period to look it over, and then hopefully the report will be finalized shortly thereafter and accepted with the DEC. One of the benefits of this 9 element plan report is apparently with a wave of new grant opportunities that are coming in the near future, WQIP and many others. If your county or locality has a 9 element plan in place, that would increase the likelihood of the grant to get funded. So we're really looking to get this in place, so when grants start flowing, municipalities can use that plan to assist in their applications and score higher. So that's the update now. Hopefully by the end of May, the stakeholders should receive a draft final to take a look at. And that's what I have on 9 element.
Question, can you define 9 elements? Is nitrogen one of the chemical elements, or are there 9 elements points to the plan?
There's 9 points of the plan. Some I don't know all of them off the top of my head. The public education, outreach, and so on and so forth. That'll all be laid out in the plan. So yeah, that's how that works. Any other questions on 9 element?
No, Dan, I think you're good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Sarah, you want to move on to storm drain markers?
Yes, so the storm drain markers are in. They came in actually yesterday, and I looked at them today. This is what we got last time. Actually, this time I ordered it's a fish over top of a wave. So I'll start reaching out to distribute those, to start distributing them next week to all the municipalities who ordered them. So that's exciting. We get those thing that's been done. And then what's the last thing? Oh, and I sent around a snapshot of what what's been done by the committee in February and March. Some of the new members probably didn't get that, so I will send that to you now. And it has details and more updates in order to save us time during these meetings. So I will send it out to you. And then, are there any municipal updates?
Sarah, this is Kevin from the town again. Let's just step back for a second. Are you saying that we actually were able to process the medallions and the adhesive through the town?
That's what seems to have happened. We got the product.
Don't ask any more questions.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the money went through. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. Are there any updates from-
As Sarah reiterated, we're looking for municipal updates at this point, so feel free to state your name and shout them out.
Village of Manor
Go ahead
Haven.
and start then. Oh, go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I'll beat you to it. So the reconstruction of Manor Haven Boulevard is proceeding apace, thanks to the county, because it's actually a county road. They were able to lift and replace the several rain gardens that were installed a few years ago. So I was worried about it because I saw them digging all that out, but they put it all back in. So that's that's it.
Good job, county. Good.
Hi, this is Dan Fucci from Nassau County. I just wanted to bring up one item that the county did work on recently, is that we retained a consultant to prepare a grant application to do a essentially look at Shore Road. This is adjacent, this is in Baxter Estates. Shore Road obviously is adjacent to Baxter Beach. And, you know, there's been a history of erosion issues along Baxter Beach. And there, you know, there is a concern in some form in the long term that that erosion could ultimately affect Shore Road. Baxter Estates recently, through an IMA with the county, retained a consultant as well to prepare a conceptual plan to do essentially some sort of a bay walk area, similar to what you have just to the north in Port Washington there, Port North, and try to connect that whole segment together. So there was a US DOT RAISE grant, RAISE. Don't ask me what RAISE means off the top of my head, I don't remember. But we had a consultant prepare the grant and submit it for essentially the permitting, design, engineering, and construction of that concept plan that Baxter Estates chose, and as well as additional Shore Road improvements, because it is all connected to protect Shore Road. That concept plan has a lot of erosion protection methods involved in that plan that would be of assistance. So, you know, we're looking at we're looking at it from that perspective, but as well as trying to improve the walkability from Port North, from the shopping center where you have the Bay Walk there, southward to Main Street. So that's the connection we made with this particular grant application. So we'll see what happens, but I did want to, you know, let the committee know.
Great.
Dan, this is Kevin with the town of North Hempstead. We already beat that to you, beat you to it. We have design plans, we have permitting that's going forward. Baxter Estates is aware of it. I don't know what Baxter Estates plan has chosen, but I wrote a grant, I want to say approximately in 2012, to extend the Baywalk Trail from its current location in Port Washington North to go north to Manor Haven and then south to the town dock. This also includes wetland restoration in addition to bulkheading for that area. So we've already received the DOS grant, have closed it out, had made additional adjustments before the pandemic, and we are going to resubmit it. So my point is, maybe we should just coordinate a little bit, knowing that the last couple of years have been disjointed because of pandemic and other things. Either way,
Yeah.
I have construction money. I have permits going in shortly. And this is a project that already has been reviewed initially by DOS, and DEC in terms of coastal consistency. And once again, we are resubmitting plans that they already adjust. So give me a call when you want to discuss further details.
Sure.
This is actually was going to be my update as well. So.
Okay, okay.
I just want to add that Baxter Estates welcomes all of your efforts. This road vibrates a bit, Shore Road, in this location. And you might have noticed there's a crack, well, few cracks down the middle, and it does have a level change towards the water. So anything we can do to restore its structural integrity would be is very welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
And then I should further clarify that the project that I got a grant for and I'm working on is really more specific to the Baywalk Trail itself. The components include shoreline restoration, dealing with the undermining of specifically Baxter Beach and, the one dilapidated tree that's there and stuff like that. But there are aspects of that, but our project.
Kevin, could you and Dan do this separately? Because it sounds like you need to.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other municipal updates? Or updates from anybody?
Well, they were digging up Plandome Road
Okay.
yesterday morning. They were grinding it from Leeds Pond area all the way around and up to almost Liqueur, which turned the entire neighborhood into a snafu. But I was told that when they continue, as it's been ground, it's only been partially ground. So for the remainder of the project, Port Washington Police, as well as Nassau County Precinct 6, will be involved in traffic control because
Yes,
it was a mess,
it was a
to say-
disaster.
to say the least. I sent a note to Barbara as well as Ed, and I'm like, what's going on? Because that was the day my daughter needed to get to a train to get to Manhattan for some meetings. And I'm like, oh man. And they said for all future construction until the program is completed, they will have traffic control employed. I'm like, great, thank you. It just went terribly wrong. It was like somebody didn't speak to somebody. And I had a procession of cars coming up Liqueur for 3 hours, bumper to bumper. It was amazing.
Wow.
They're milling the road on Middle Neck Road and Great Neck as well. And they've narrowed the center medians. And thanks to the, we got something from the North Shore Audubon Society, which gave a list of drought resistant plants. So when they fill that up, I'm going to use that to hopefully, when we make the decision of what to plant in the center median, something that's drought resistant that won't break up the road going forward.
Great.
So,
It took me a half an hour to get from Thomaston to Hicks Lane today.
I believe it.
What a disaster. Yeah, and not enough police and traffic control.
Yeah.
When will it be completed? I have to go through that road every day, multiple times to, because my children are north. It's really, it's very.
They're supposed to be paving from Red Brook to Hicks tomorrow. And I hopefully south of that, soon. That's all I can say.
Forward.
Any more updates?
Good for me.
All right, my next question is, well, it looks like we lost some people when I got kicked off. But our next meeting is June 9th. Should we try to hold that in person or should we stay with Zoom? I did not investigate, but the legislature was supposed to pass legislation that would let us keep holding public meetings virtually. I'm assuming that's still in place. So I leave it to you to decide what we're gonna do June 9th.
Boom.
Where would we meet if it was in person?
Well, we used to meet in town, in the town
You mean it
hall.
in Port?
No, in
Which
Manhasset.
No, in Manhasset.
Manhasset. Mhm.
In the
It's-
town of North Hempstead boardroom?
Yes.
Okay. So to be in the town of
Or
North
as
Hempstead
sometimes
building.
along Longmore. Yes.
You may have to check. I think that rule has been rescinded about a Zoom meeting. Because the trustee meetings have been in person for the
Okay.
last few meetings. And as you know, the WAC committee has also been in person.
Yeah.
Isn't it at the discretion of the municipality?
Apparently, there's laws in association with that. I'm really not familiar with it. And during the pandemic, there was a dispensation from the law. I think that's how to put it. While there was some new public health needs. But I think that's been rescinded.
That.
Yeah, Annie, this is Kevin from the town. It's basically open meetings law. So the open meetings law says everybody's allowed to, or everybody needs to be able to come to a meeting. That was suspended during the pandemic, for obvious reasons, but at some point it's going to go back to everybody has to have an in-person meeting so members of the public are allowed to participate. Like, it's really hard for members of the community to participate in a meeting like this on Zoom. So I think Sarah has to look into whether it was rescinded or not. I don't think it has. In many of my other committees, it seems to be some kind of whatever you want to do at this point.
Okay.
I'm going to make a suggestion then, Kevin. I'm going to make a suggestion. Since the joint committee is going virtual for the 12th, although I think it's more productive to meet in person, I think at this point, I'm going to make a suggestion that we keep it on Zoom until we know for sure things have changed. And that means change legally.
Right.
I support that.
I did. Mhm.
Okay. So then the last thing would be an executive session to discuss Samantha. So Samantha, it's been lovely seeing you. But bye-bye, and I'll email you afterwards.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you. And then also Sarah Schaefer Brown. I have to say goodbye to you too.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for coming and listening in. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording also.